Hi there, my name's Ben, and today I'm going to talk about why I listen to Playboi Carti and why you should too. Now, before I go into it, I want to tell you a story. I remember the first time that I listened to Playboi Carti. I was just recently graduated university. I'm on my way, or not on my way, it was the day before my convocation ceremony. I had a very good friend of mine, one of my best friends, who I've known he's my oldest friend. I've known him for over 15 years, I would say, at this point. He came up to visit, and we were hanging out in my kitchen, and he said, okay, let's throw on some music. I said, okay, sure. He asked me, what do you want to listen to? I said, I really don't know. Doesn't matter. So he says, okay, sure. He picks something. And of course, as soon as you hear,
yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
The rest is history. The song that was chosen was Playboi Carti's Magnolia. And I remember as soon as that beat dropped, just shucking, jiving, just moving in a way and dancing terribly like I always do. And I asked my friend, and I said, are you did you know this track first? Did you know who this guy is? And he says, I have absolutely no clue who he is. I just randomly chose it. And that's one of the memories that I cherish. Not just because it's a great one to have, but also it's because that was my introduction to Playboi Carti in a St. John's, Newfoundland kitchen in 2017. Right before my convocation ceremony, I listened to Magnolia. And the rest, as they say, is history. So let's get into it. Why do I listen to Playboi Carti, and why should you listen to Playboi Carti? Well, first off, Playboi Carti, for me, this is low-hanging fruit, but it has to be said. He makes bangers. It is good vibes music. And they slap. Magnolia is easily one of his most well-known songs. And that one slaps. It is an immediate. Everybody, you play that for anybody, they all start dancing. It doesn't matter if they're punks, doesn't matter if they're metalheads, doesn't matter if they're into jazz. It's one of those infectious songs that just puts their hooks into you. But then again, they also, off his eponymous mixtape that Magnolia was on, there's also Woke Up Like This featuring Lil Uzi Vert. There's number 9 that he has, Location. Easily one of the best opening tracks on any single musical project. Not to mention as well that and of course he has a great feature with A$AP Rocky, new Choppa on that. I mean, I could do a whole album review just on that one as well, and I might do that. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. But the fact of the matter is that that's just his first one, and I'm already naming them off. Then there's Die Lit, where you have where it's filled with features, but they're all bangers. Lean For Real featuring Skepta, Poke It Out featuring Nicki Minaj. You've got his song with Pierre Bourne, Right Now. Flatbed Freestyle, one of the few ones that doesn't have a feature on there. It's a very, very, that whole album, bangers. Then, of course, Whole Lot of Red dropped out in, I believe it was Christmas 2020, right in the middle of the pandy. And that's the pandemic for anyone in case they're wondering. And that one as well was just a musical experience, to say the least. And I mean, of course, only Playboi Carti would drop, a vampire-themed, I don't want to call it mumble rap, but a vampire-themed new hip-hop experimental album that has more so Halloween vibes right before Christmas. And that's just his albums. That's not including all of the leaked songs that came out. So the leaked project that he did with Lil Uzi Vert, 1629. That's not including the remixes that sound like they've been recorded in between, from another room. And it's grainy, but it's so raw. Like, I mean, every single thing that he puts out, and you can call me a stan if you want to. I fully admit that I am a Playboi Carti stan. That every single thing that he puts out is pure gold. He hasn't put out a bad track. So that's one of the reasons why I listen to him and why you should too. Secondly, he's actually very, very experimental. There's a lot of thought that goes behind who features on his tracks, or even how he uses his voice. I mean, I remember watching the music video for his single at the time, At May, and which is just a kaleidoscopically good beat, and it's a very fun song. I believe it was, Jetson Maid who produced it. But like I said, I mean it when I say it's kaleidoscopic. It's like, it sounds like you're in a fun house. It sounds colorful, effervescent, everything like that. And then of course you had Playboi Carti doing his now signature baby voice flow over it. And I remember reading a comment below the YouTube video, and the guy said, I forget who actually wrote it, shout out to you, but he said, look, at this point, his vocals are the beat, and the beat is rapping over it. And initially I found that really funny, but then I thought more about it, and I think, okay, if you listen to his discography, obviously his eponymous mixtape with Magnolia on there is still that flow from him. He's trying to find his voice and everything like that, but he's still very clearly rapping. And then you go into Die Lit, where he starts to bust out the baby voice a little bit more, shells out more ad-libs, but it's eventually sort of becoming, he's starting to use his voice as more of an instrument than anything. And then A Whole Lot of Red comes out, and that is, he has truly used his voice as an instrument. It's not about lyrics anymore. It is about adding another layer onto the production of the song, and I think that is so cool. That's so innovative, and that's so groundbreaking that an artist, who's in a genre that is known for its lyrical wordplay, for its wordsmithing, for its modern poetry, the fact that an artist in this genre is brave enough to actually say, throw convention out the window, forget rhymes, forget all of that, and he uses his voice as another layer as another instrument, as another layer into the production, I think is really experimental. He pulls it off fantastically, and I think there is a message down in there as well. And I think part of the reason why I listen to it again is not only does that super experimental and unique flow, not only does it slap, not only is it a banger, not only does Playboi Carti hoard all of the W's, he's straight draining shots from downtown, every single thing that he puts out, but the fact that he was able to be so brave and to completely turn the genre convention on its head and still produce bangers, still produce stuff that sells, still produces stuff that that people really enjoy to listen to, myself included. I think there's a lesson to be learned there, because sometimes you have to defy the genre, and you have to affect your environment and be assertive and be brave and take that risk in order for you to be successful. So that's maybe a little bit too much of an analysis into Playboi Carti. I'm not sure if that's his intention to do it, but that's at least what I get from when I listen to his music. Another reason why I listen to Playboi Carti and why he's one of my favorite artists, if not my favorite artist, is that his branding is on point. If whoever is handling his marketing, hats off to you, sir. I remember he partnered up with Givenchy, or as I like to call it, Givenchy, and he did some modeling with them, and I think at that time they were handling his personal brand. And I thought, okay, what a move to do, because I mean you hear a lot in modern rap, you know, about Versace, Gucci, you know, Louis Vuitton, you know, the Birkin bags and whatever else. That said, though, like rappers and luxury brands, it's nothing new. However, Playboi Carti ended up designing a couple of things for them, modeled for them, and I don't know, it's just whoever thought up the fact that, okay, like, you pick this particular luxury brand, because for me, Givenchy is always just, it's very clean, very, it's weird. It's weirdly gothic in a sense, which fits in with the vampire aesthetic that he's currently doing, and they're one of the ones that sort of comes out of left field, because I mean you know we hear Dior and all the other ones that I listed, but Givenchy is very, very rare that you hear about them. So I think it's a crazy good branding move for both of them. Not to mention, I think he also has he's really now fully bought into, like, you know, the King Vamp aesthetic. So he's, I think he has an alcoholic drink out right now. He's doing a lot of different moves, you know, waiting for him to put out another album. I want it, the fans want it. Playboi Carti, please put us out, like, you know, give us another album, please. Give us another single, something, anything. But that's another part of how his branding is on point, because he knows, you know, I think it was a couple of years between Die Lit and Whole Lotta Red, and he knew that as soon as he dropped Whole Lotta Red, people are going to be on it. And I mean, look, as soon as this album drops, I'm getting it, so to speak. But one last point about the branding as well, especially if you look at his most recent album, Whole Lotta Red, he is now sort of blurring the line between, you know, luxury brand, that vampire horror aesthetic, and the punk scene mixed in with the Atlanta rapper, and it's an unbelievable syncretic melding of all of these different parts that makes something completely unique, something original, but something that's also quintessentially Playboi Carti. Like, only he is able to pull this off, and I think that's another good aspect of how his branding is on point, because he's able to collate these different influences and remix them in a way, combine them in a way that is not only compelling, not only is it aesthetic, but it sells too. And it's of course popular. There's a reason why, you know, people like myself who've listened to him from the beginning, even since before, even since before his mixtape, why they've stuck with him even through all of these increasing changes, like, you know, going from, you know, wearing like, let's say, just having that Atlanta style hip hop, then sort of slowly moving in more punk, and then getting more, you know, collaborating with Givenchy, and then getting that vampire aesthetic into there. Now, there are some people who aren't fans of it. They're like, oh, it's kind of weird he's doing this this demon thing. But I think it just goes to show the fact that all of these, like, most of his fans have stuck with him through these massive changes, and that means that he is a really, really compelling brand. He has really, really compelling branding, and I think that's a huge inspiration and a huge part of the reason why I continue to listen to Playboi Carti. Look, I can talk all day about Playboi Carti and about why I like his music. I mean, like I said, from his official releases, from his singles, from the stuff that gets leaked, to the remixed stuff that fans do, Playboi Carti himself is just a cultural force to be reckoned with. I will say the last reason why I've stuck around for so long is just that the community of Playboi Carti fans as well happens to be a really, really good one as well. They're extremely passionate. They've got a great sense of humor, and of course, like this is like, you know, they absolutely adore his music, right? And I think that for an artist to have such a dedicated fan base as well just speaks volumes about the quality of the work that they put out, because this isn't just for memes, right? Really, people seriously listen to Playboi Carti, as like I am one of them, and I'm just really happy that there is a massive community out there as well that thinks the same way that I do. But anyway, like I said, I could talk all day about this. Those are a couple of the reasons why I listen to Playboi Carti and why I think that you should too. If you haven't listened to him before, go check him out. But if you have heard of him, please tell me, what's your favorite Playboi Carti songs? Better yet, top 5. It's going to be a tough list to make. I'll put my top 5 down in the description of this video. And if you agreed with anything I said, let me know. If you want to raise a point of contention and start a debate, let me know also why you like Playboi Carti or why you dislike him. In any event, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments below.